Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take a look at this new model from Danish company Dekas. It is a combined passenger and luggage car, DSB Class CPE. In this version, the car is presented as it looked in the years between 1955 and 1966, so it's perfect for my chosen era. Dekas is a small company, but their products are of really very high quality. Look at this nice paintwork, nice DSB maroon, nice vents on the roof, and loads of details on the undercarriage. She's a beauty. But perhaps a few words on the prototype. It was originally designed in 1939 as a refurbished version of an older class CN car. So these were originally built before World War I, and they had this big boiler providing heating to passenger cars. However, as heating cars fell out of fashion, some of them were rebuilt, and 10 of these refurbished cars became known as Class CPE, and they were put into service in the greater Copenhagen area as combined passenger and luggage cars. In the mid-1950s, the era that I'm modeling, the cars had spread to other parts of the country as well. So the last CPE was retired in 1968 after more than 50 years of service. Not bad. Now, what is the first thing you do when you buy a new model? Well, take it apart, of course. So I already own a few models from Dekas, so I know pretty much how to do this. There's some small tabs here on the inside of the body, so a couple of toothpicks is all it takes. Now it looks like a porcupine, but normally the undercarriage just pops out. But a couple of the steps on this models are fastened to both the undercarriage and the body, so they have to be loosened as well. And here we are. The body of the model is in plastic, but the undercarriage is in metal, and you can really feel that. Lovely. Of course, the buffers are spring-loaded. The interior is fastened to the undercarriage with no less than 7 small screws, so it's very sturdy. Of course, there's a toilet, but not much to see here. However, you can really see where the boiler room used to be, and there's a small conductor's office as well, with a small desk under the window, and etched metal bars securing the windows in the luggage compartment. Dekas has not forgotten these small signs either, so lots of great details. Okay, one last look at the interior before the next step, which is adding passengers. These are just really cheap, no-brand figures of the type you can easily find on the internet. I've only given them a quick lick of paint to tone down the most outlandish colors, and I secure them in their seats with a drop of PVA glue. So the car ends up half full as a sort of compromise between rush hour traffic and a more quiet time of the day. And there we have it. Okay, so I am going to install light in this model. Regular followers of the channel know that I've been experimenting a little, but I found that I really like these warm white light LEDs from a German manufacturer, Fiesmann. Now the way this works is that you connect one of these wires to the small brass plate here, and the other to the other side of the model. But first we will have to shorten the thing a little. And that is really not difficult at all. You just cut it at one of the designated spots. I just used a Hobbyist saw and then snapped it. Very practical feature there. And now it fits. Here's a thing that I haven't really tried before, because I would like to be able to connect this car to the next using conductive couplings. I experiment with this Fisman 5048. It's a coupling based on the Fleischmann Profi system. It turned out that I had to separate the interior from the undercarriage to run the wires from the coupling to the lights, so obviously I should have done this before I added the passengers, but hey, you live and learn, I guess. Running the wires up the interior wasn't a problem, since there were some small holes here that I could use. So after all that, it was just a question of putting it all together again, and of course test that everything, especially the couplings, were all okay. Time to solder or solder. I'm absolutely no world champion at this, and that is one of the reasons that I've come to prefer the ready-made solutions like the Fisman products for these things. It simply minimizes how much of this that you have to do yourself. In any case, this proved to be rather straightforward, connecting the LEDs to the model's power outlets, and then the couplings to the end of the LED strip. Finally, I secured the LEDs with a few drops of PVA glue. Time to reconnect the body and the undercarriage. A few clicks and job done. Ready for the next chapter, which is all about weathering. For regular viewers, there'll be no surprises here. First, a wash of dark grey sod, not least around the harmonica connections here. The shine from the back side of the wheels was removed with some burnt umber acrylic paint, and the steps were giving a more worn look. Time to visit the spray booth. First a layer of burnt umber, simulating brake dust, and then a stripe of sod down the center line of the roof. Grease and grime on the buffers, and finally weathering powders on the bogies and steps to add a fine layer of unspecified railway dirt. Okay, nearly there. A short test of the interior lighting, which seems to be working very well. And there you have it, one finished model of DSB Class CPE, weathered with passengers and interior lights. I think this is another hit model from Dekas, very well detailed, good running characteristics, and pleasure to behold if you're into these rather quirky rebuilt cars from DSB. So this is the end of the video. If you like what you saw, please consider giving the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Leave a comment and help the channel grow. See you next time. Bye bye.